Hello, 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 ho, ho, everyone. How are we doing today? Welcome in. Thank you for joining Euphoria. If you are here a lot, it's lovely to see you again. But if you're here for your first time, then you will find all their social media down below. Go and check them out, please. Down below, we're pointing downwards. Today we are playing Vaesen, the second part of a two-shot. We played the last part last Tuesday. Well, I mean, it's too late to go and check that video out now. But come and join our gang and just hope that you can kind of catch up. I will give like a sort of a brief roundup of what's been going on so that you can kind of catch up. It is a somewhat loosely festive but charity game of Vaesen because it is set in June, but don't worry, there is some winter to go around, and it is a system that is published by the incredible Free League Publishing. It is my first time GMing. It is my lovely players' first time playing. We are having a blast so far, and we are looking forward to seeing more of this incredible system. First up, I will address some safety bits. Vaesen is a horror game, so you will find it contains many, many horror tropes. You will, in this one, find witchcraft, extreme temperatures, weather conditions, mild references to gore, and some off-screen harm to animals. If any of those feel like absolutely not your thing, then thank you for your support, but please protect your headspace, and the same goes for if at any point we touch upon something that does not feel like something you are comfortable with. We will be implementing lines, veils, safety tools today, and we will be really working hard to make sure that everyone involved, including you, the audience, are feeling safe and happy while we play. So let's have some introductions. I can't speak today. Let's have some introductions today. Here we go. I guess I'll start. St. Biron help us all. I'll start. I'm Kat. I'm known on the internet as Law Mistress 93, or that's where you'll find me. I use she, they pronouns, and I will be today's GM/facilitator, and I'm very excited to continue on this adventure with my lovely cast. We're going to go around now. I must remind myself of what order. Let's start. Chris, I'm going to pick on you again. Let's start with Chris.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on most internet things, Venga Boy, and I'm going to be playing the old Scottish man Dale Kirkwood this game. Looking forward to getting back into the action.
Incredible work. All right, next up, let's go Shaghik, please.
Not how you say my name, Kat. Anyway.
Oh, wait, what? So sorry. What did I say? No, say it, please. Introduce yourself and tell everyone how to say it, because it's not. I said it wrong. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. Hi everybody. My name is Shaghik, or you can say Shaghik, which would have been what I expected you to say, which is what you said last week. Anyway.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're all struggling with words right now.
I promise. It's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't have called you out if it wasn't okay. Not in public anyway. Well, my pronouns are she, her. I am an actual play performer in these parts and in podcast forums as well sometimes. And I'm a sound designer, video editor, audio editor, whatever on Earth. What else am I supposed to say? Right, my character. I'm playing Dr. Adelaide Russell. She is a doctor. Her pronouns are also she, her, and she's ready to solve some mysteries.
She absolutely is. We're off to a roaring start, everyone.
Oh, yes.
Can't wait to get into this. Incredible. I think we've already established that my words have gone out the window today, so I apologize for that. All right. Meg Han, please introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Let's just do it wrong with everyone.
I am Megan. I use she, her pronouns. And you can find me all around the internet at MumbleMegs. And I'll just introduce my character briefly. Effie Turner. Let's see if I can find the voice again today, because my throat is feeling a bit rough today. We'll do our best.
Oh no! I've already seen in the chat that some people are not feeling particularly well today, so I'm very sad to hear that you are also not feeling particularly well today. This was me last week. My throat was a bit rough. All right, lovely players. Thank you for introducing yourself. So a couple of like housekeeping / administration bits. I mentioned that this is a charity stream. We are supporting and accepting donations for the incredible charity called War Child, who work in conflict zones across the globe. They support children and their families. We're very, very excited that we get to raise some money for them. This over the period of, it's not just me that's GMing for Deck the Dice for this event. Ruben is GMing Heart, and we have already smashed I believe it was a £250 target, and we've already smashed that. So we've upped the target now to £350, which is what we're aiming for tonight. And personally, I'm hopeful that we'll smash it too for this one. You can hit the Tiltify link that's currently in chat to donate, and there are some incentives in play for tonight's game. £5, crack a joke. I will tell an incredible joke. I did threaten my cast with putting them on the spot to tell a joke, but honestly, I feel like everyone just wants to hear the jokes. And by the way, I'm gonna just I've got an internet list pulled up. They're awful, and I can't wait for you all to hear them. And I expect everyone to laugh because it's a festive time of year. £10, you will award a player a dice for the dice pool. I think you have 2 dice in the dice pool, and Megan specifically has 1 die that she can kind of implement at any point.
That's my Christmas present. Thank you.
That's little festive present for you. So if anyone wants to just gift specifically single out players as well, that's fine. Just pop that into the kind of into the donation comments. And I poor me, I'll have to just try to remember all of it. £15 GM complication. That's where I get to come in and make something troublesome happen, which we saw at the end of our last episode, and we will be going back into it. £20 St. Biran's blessing. Something fortuitous will happen for our whole group, which, you know, I'm sure that they're really hoping for. And £25. Now, we had a few of these last time, actually. Don We, our gay apparel. All of us have as many bits as we could muster that is as festive as we could muster. And I will say that Shaghik has gone absolutely wild with I've heard there might be some costume changes. I've heard that there's
You're building me up for
listen. All I'm saying is that I have this.
Which is more festive than what I've got planned.
No, you are going to be incredible. So if you all want to see that, then donate £25 a pop, and we will watch as your camera shuts off, and then you come back in your new outfit.
You're overhyping it. It's gonna be
I absolutely am overhyping it. But for charity.
Donate. It's not even the first gay apparel. It's gonna be the second one. So donate £25 twice to see if we are.
There we go. Okay. We need 50 quid from the lot of you. All right.
At least. Time specifically.
A second bit of housekeeping because we're already 15 minutes in. We are running a giveaway. Rune Fable, wonderful Rune Fable, have provided us with a gorgeous one-of-a-kind set of dice. You can see them if you go to Euphoria's social media down below over on their Blue Sky. Check the socials for pics. Type the keyword !dice giveaway in chat. This can be entered throughout any of the 4 episodes that are happening. So the 2 episodes for Vaesen and the 2 episodes for Heart. So we will draw the winner on Ruben's game Thursday. So that's this Thursday. Oh my goodness, it's already almost the 19th of December, everyone.
Oh, wow.
Please. I'm actually like bricking it just thinking about that. And yeah, we'll draw a winner then. So with all that, I think that's everything that I need to mention. All that said, let's get started, shall we?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so I'm talking again. I don't know why I'm saying it like I'm about to just pass off to you guys. Last episode, you lovely lot, members of the society, you travelled from London to Gloucestershire because Effie received a letter from an Edgar Longby, someone that she had been communicating with while he was a student, as Effie is quite the writer. And they had many conversations in the past about sort of folklore and sort of debates over theology and such. But this letter was a little different, and you had not heard from Edgar for a while until now. And it spoke about how troubling things are happening in the village of Brancombe in Gloucestershire. And they're not quite right, despite the June month. Over there, it is as if it is winter. You know, there is frost, there is snow. A girl has been murdered, and her sweetheart is set to hang for the crime. And animals have begun to mysteriously be attacked by something that definitely has all the markings of a wolf or even a larger predator. But wolves have not been seen in the area for 4 centuries or so. So, all very strange, and all things that potentially point to the influence of the Vaesen, creatures that the 3 of you know very well, because you are Thursday's children, you are gifted with the sight, and you are able to see things and know things that perhaps the mere mortal may not. You arrived, you spent a little time with Edgar, you learnt some things from his study. You did incredibly well, actually, I think, learning some things from his study. I believe Effie had a wonderful conversation with Mrs. Hopper, the housekeeper, one that I'm sure she enjoyed. And afterwards, after this, you then made your way to the Shepherd's Rest. I'm actually flabbergasted that I'm remembering all of these place names without looking at my notes. So, like, clap for me.
Well done.
I know, right? The Shepherd's Rest. Our lovely Dale had quite the invigorating conversation with Tom Pawsey, who is a local. Well, no one's really 100% sure what he does. He does a lot of walking around the area, does a lot of hunting, but he's also doesn't seem to be quite on the right side of the law or the people's ideas of a good person. But you had a conversation with him, and he has asked for some money if you would like him to take you to go and see where the poor girl's body was found. You were about to have a conversation with someone by the name of old Gaffer Ingham. Wait, let me just check that one. Let me just
That
check
sounds
that
right.
one.
Yeah.
That sounds right, doesn't it? If
Yeah.
I've got this, then I'm very, very, yeah, I got it.
Oh,
Old
well
Gaffer
done,
Ingham. Look at me go, everyone. Old Gaffer Ingham, who is something of a storyteller here. Everyone knows him to be the oldest resident and the one that knows all of the local folklore and legends, you would like to ask him some questions about potential folklore things happening, except your attempt at conversation got somewhat interrupted by a GM complication. And that came in the form of a constable entering the room from Annonsbury Police Station. He came in looking for Longby, and upon finding him, he has expressed that he would like to chat with all of you. No coming down to the station, but just a chat. You would see as he kind of enters, the tone of the room, everyone was quite, it's a little bit, it's strange and interesting times, but people here know each other. They seemed relaxed. There was a level of kind of, it's been a hard day, we're taking some time to drink and have some food and relax after a long day, another long day here in Brankham. The presence of a policeman entering the room sets everyone on edge, and I think that you've all got a bit of an idea that there is some conflict between the locals and the local police, who believe Billy Winchcombe to be Daisy Thomas's murderer. The locals, many of them, do not think that to be the case. They know Billy. They know he is a sweet lad. They know that he was in love with Daisy. They know that Daisy herself was very much in love with him, and they can't see it. They can't imagine what would suddenly turn him to murder someone he dearly cared about.
Well, then if he was so in love with her, why was he at Mayday with Jenny?
Well, that's a question, and I know I've got a lovely character keeper for our cast here, and they've been writing the clues, and one of them is like, "Who's Jenny?" Which is my favorite clue. But yes, he did attend the Mayday festival a few days before Daisy's death. With another woman, a mystery woman. We don't know who she is, and that is something to be asked. But as it stands, this constable walks in, and everyone stiffens, everyone straightens up, everyone looks somewhat hostile. Tensions between the villagers and the police seem to be quite high, and he kind of glances around the room, and he can see this. He can certainly see this. He has no interest in engaging anyone else, though. He has only eyes for you and for Longby. And he sort of makes his way over to a booth and gestures for you all to sit with him.
Right.
How do we feel about this, Longby?
Oh well,
Is that Roger Banks?
Is that what you're asking, Longby?
Yes.
He kind of leans in and he says, "No, this is just Constable Moore. Constable Moore. He's not the inspector."
Who is he then? So he's local. What authority does he have?
Well, he's a policeman.
Right. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Whatever.
Eye roll. And I think, like, at this point, the constable clears his throat and he goes, "I plan for this to be a quick chat."
Oh, all right then, fine.
Goes and sit down reluctantly.
Yeah.
Will you won us over?
They'll do a very similar kind of sit, like directly across from him, like I did with Tom, and just kind of look at him.
Tom is not happy to see the police here. You can see it. Like, he didn't seem happy to be in the presence of people at all. That seems to be Tom's way, but the police definitely seem to rub him up the wrong way. He's shifted, as I said before, he's shifted a bit further into his booth. He doesn't want to attract attention. He doesn't want to cause trouble. Do you know what? Actually, I think what he will do, you were very straightforward with him. I think that he will look at you, Dale, and he will just shake his head no.
I think Dale will very, very slightly incline his head towards Tom when he sees this, and then continue looking over at the constable.
There's a definite air of like, be wary going on here. And the constable Moore, he is, right, let me just get his information up. He is he's very tall. He's quite slender. He looks like he's in his 20s, like early 20s. Definitely like a junior member of
What is
the
Fetus
police.
doing trying to intimidate us? And I am freshly in my mid-20s as opposed to my
Yeah,
I can say that.
This Fetus. He's come in and he's clearly made an attempt to exude authority. But as he sits down, there's kind of something about the way he sits down that's a little like awkward, a little fresh-faced, a little like tensions are high between the villagers and the policemen, and this boy has clearly been sent. He's not particularly happy about it, but there's clearly no one that he could delegate it down to. So he is the person that this has been delegated down to. So he kind of like makes himself comfortable. He doesn't really want to be here either. That's something that I think that you would all kind of get a sense of. But he kind of looks each of you in the eye, and then he looks back to Longby and he said, "So, you've got some visitors." And Longby says, "Yes, as is my prerogative. I don't really see, Constable. What's the issue here?" "Well, I'm just charged with safeguarding this community. I want to make sure that these strangers here are here and will keep the peace."
Have we done anything, Constable?
"Well, initial reports say you've been asking a lot of questions."
We're very curious about the local culture. With tourists.
"So it seems."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like looking you straight in the eye. "But there's been a few strange happenings around here. You can understand, I'm sure, why we would be wary of strangers coming in and potentially meddling with our affairs."
Absolutely, Constable. It is very serious.
And if we should happen to see anybody around meddling in your affairs, I will let you know, of course.
Yes? Could we have some sort of contact information?
"You want to speak to us? Why?"
In case we have something to report, Constable. Dale just said that.
He
Of course.
kind of looks at all of you, and then he looks at Longby, and he says, "Why have you really brought them here? Why are they asking about Daisy? Everything has been wrapped up. We know who did it.
Do you?
Yes, we do. We
Oh,
have him in custody.
who did it? Who is it?
Well, you can come down to the station tomorrow if you like and see for yourself.
Maybe we will, Constable. That sounds like an amazing idea. I'm so curious about the local policeman culture of what is it?
Who is curious about the local police culture?
No. I'm writing a book.
No, that's
Wait,
my
sorry,
job.
Effie's writing.
Effie's right.
Effie's writing a book about the local police.
I am
Just-
helping with the research.
Yes, this is my dear assistant, Dr. Russell.
I have a PhD, not an MD, actually.
And as Dr. Russell said, we're here to see the local sites, and if one of those happens to be the police station, then I'm sure we can stop by. But I don't know, it might be quite far down on the list.
You can see that he is he's not really 100% buying this. He knows you've been asking a lot of questions. He's clearly been informed by his superiors. There are strangers here. They're asking questions. Go down and investigate. I think what I would like is for one of you to, because you're kind of trying to throw him off the scent a little bit or try to, I guess, soothe his concerns. So I would like one of you to either make a manipulation or an inspiration test. And upon a success, tell me kind of what that looks like of just allaying this person's fears.
I'm not. Oh, this is tough. I shouldn't have been doing the talking so much of the talking because I shouldn't do
Yeah.
any manipulation or inspiration check. Actually,
I
It's
will
Yeah,
allow.
can-
I will
can-
allow. I will allow whoever does it an extra dice because I think everyone's been kind of talking a little bit. I will
Yeah.
allow whoever does it an extra dice because you're all kind of doing it just for.
So- Effie, since you're writing the book,
All right, you don't have to pull my leg. I am quite inspirational after all.
and
You're the
Yes.
biggest inspiration to me personally, Effie.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll give it a crack. Yeah, so what do you need me to do? Sorry.
An inspiration or a manipulation test. So I'm
Ooh.
guessing you're going to go inspiration.
I am, yes, because I have 2 in inspiration.
Oh,
So,
and you have in your. So how many dice altogether?
so that's 2 in inspiration and 5 in empathy. So 7 altogether.
7 dice, and then add 1 more for the help that you are receiving.
Ooh, spicy. Okay. Let me just collect my mini dice.
Your many dice. Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Okay, how many successes? Sorry. 2. 2 successes. Okay, that's. Do you know that's very good. He's fresh faced. He only needed 1. So he's fresh faced and he doesn't want to be here. So he only needed 1. So he kind of, what does that look like as you kind of watch your 2 companions are trying to like sort of help and kind of put in their input, but what does that look like? What would Effie say to this man to just be like, look, just leave us alone, we're fine? Inspirational words now, Effie.
Oh boy. See, Effie's inspirational. Is Megan in this moment inspirational? Let's find out. I think that Effie's just going to look at him for a long time, just fixed in her gaze. Just going to squint a little bit and take a big long sip of her enormous cup of tea that she has somehow procured in this time. Put out a gentle hand to this young lad and say, You're new to this, Sonny. I understand that. Believe it or not, I was young once too. Young and fresh-faced, not with all these wrinkles like you see now. And this gray hair. Look, I know you think we're up to nonsense, but really, I just want to visit my old friend Edgar. Isn't that right, Edgar? We haven't seen each other in ages. Just want to have a natter.
Yes, that's in fact correct. Yes.
Just a big cup of tea and a natter. That's all we want. And while we're here, well, I mean, it'd be a shame not to see this beautiful landscape. We mean no harm.
But you're asking a lot of questions. He does seem to kind of relax a little bit, and he's listening to you, and he kind of looks, and he can see that there is like friendship between you and Edgar, and he says, "So why are you so interested in Daisy?"
Well, I'm a writer, lad. This is an interesting story.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is an unusual story, and it has its interesting points. I'm not really supposed to talk about it. I'm just here to figure things out, what's going on here. But I mean, look, and he kind of leans in and he says, there's a lot of lack of faith in the police work at the moment, and Inspector Banks is the way you just look like shock. What? Lack of faith?
What? No way.
Inspector Banks is he's under a lot of pressure, you see, and he worries about the way that tensions are rising.
Of course.
We are just as committed to finding out what happened as anyone else in this pub. And he kind of raises his voice a little bit, and everyone kind of like grumbles and just like stops looking at him and like looks
That's
away.
quite interesting. So what's the current? So you're still working on it then? The mystery is still afoot, and you're working hard at it.
Well, I mean, what I mean to say is we know that Billy is responsible, but should new evidence come to light, of course
Right.
we would
That
listen. And
seems.
Of course.
Yeah, maybe Billy had somebody he was working with.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. We must be open to all possibilities.
Who do you think? What are the whisperings? Who do you think it could be? So we can be on the lookout because we're walking around, we're talking to everybody. We can tell you if anything.
Billy is responsible for it.
And
Well, there's not necessarily an and. What I'm saying is that if somebody was to present us with a theory, a plausible theory, none of this magical folkloric nonsense, a plausible theory, perhaps we would be open to listening. But Inspector Banks is a good inspector, and he knows what he's doing.
is Inspector Banks going to be at wherever you work tomorrow morning?
Yes, he's in every day. He's a
Right.
committed officer of the law.
Right.
I hate saying that out loud.
Well, if I have the time, maybe I'll pop by. How about that?
Yes, well, I mean, what, you are some kind of doctor, did you say?
Yes.
Yes, well, head on down to Allensbury tomorrow. I will let the inspector know that you are interested for the sake of a good story, but none of this, people think that they are good detectives when they have not had the training. the real training.
Of course, we'd never want to step on your toes or anything.
No. When did you graduate?
This boy did not graduate.
Training.
like-
When did you
And-
have your training? Oh, last week?
At the academy, like, you want to watch it saying things like that to me. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just here to ask some questions.
Alright.
But I can certainly ask you some more questions down at the station if you continue to show me a lack of respect. He says, shaking slightly.
Now, good doctor. We've taken enough of this young man's time. Shall I get you a drink?
No, I'm on duty.
Oh,
He
I
says,
wasn't speaking to
With
you.
the look of a man who would really love a drink right now.
Alright. Well, we'll leave you to it, Constable. We've got some
Mm.
drinking to do in a pub.
Right. Well, see that you don't cause any trouble while you're drinking then. And he kind of
Me?
gets up and stomps his way out, and he kind of looks around one last time, and I think he spots Tom Pawsey, and he looks at you, Dale, and he says, and I saw what company you were keeping through the window. Best make it good company from now on. And he works his way out of the room.
What the fuck?
what an arse.
What an arsehole. And
Gaffer! Hope you didn't finish that bottle yet.
I think at that point, as soon as he leaves the innkeeper Albert Bradley, he kind of says, well, you sure showed him, didn't you? It's good to see that you're here to actually try to figure out what happened.
I mean, it's something of a foreign concept to these types actually solving something like this. So we'll give it a best shot.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, he speaks about Inspector Banks like he's God's gift to policing, but the man is floundering. He's floundering and he's desperate. That's what it is. Anyway, next drink's on me.
I
Here's
don't
to that.
drink. Can I get an eggnog?
An eggnog. He can make you an eggnog.
I don't drink.
Could you fill my ginormous tea mug with wine, please?
He kind of looks a little embarrassed, and he kind of laughs, and he says, "Oh, you won't find any fine wines here, I'm afraid.
Oh, it doesn't need to be fine.
I got ale. I got mead.
How about I just leave
beer,
this cup with you
cider.
and you fill it with something, okay? Okay.
Strongest thing I've got."
If
Yes,
he's like,
please.
if my cup is not full of alcohol in the next 20 seconds,
Her hands
somebody's
are shaking.
going
Something.
down.
Anything. When I said wine, I just meant ethanol.
Yep.
You get to choose what that looks like. All right, so he definitely goes for the strong stuff, and
Good man.
fills it with that. He makes sure that you are all outfitted with drinks. You can see at this point, Gaffer is looking at you all with some interest.
Effie, you know where we could find fine wine?
Oh,
The
Point
bottle
the
I
way.
gave you. The bottle I gave you to give to old man Gaffer.
oh yes, that is still in my enormous pocket. Thank you.
My enormous pocket.
I'm forgetful. Shall we go and speak with him?
Off we go.
Seems an interesting sort.
Mm-hmm.
All
Wink.
right. You I forgot that Effie is determined to flirt with this man. Okay, you head on over to Old Gaffer, and he gives you this look of a man who figured that you were about to talk to him. And he's definitely kind of like made space around him. Maybe other people have kind of gone to talk to him, and he's not really engaged in their conversation. He sits. He's he's an incredibly ancient looking being. No
Same.
one, as we discussed last session, really knows how old Gafferingham is. And they're pretty sure that he doesn't even know how old he is at this point, but he is the oldest person in this village. And he sort of sits slightly hunched over. He's smoking a clay pipe. He's got a tankard of ale that he's kind of like nursing and continually refilling. He as you sort of head on over and sort of get yourself around him, he kind of leans back and he goes, "Well, I figured you'd want to come and talk to me. Being a writer and all, you must be interested in stories."
Effie's gonna sidle over and does he have a drink in front of him?
He certainly does.
All right. Well, Effie's gonna top that up and sit down as close
Ale
to him.
and wine mixed together. Yummy.
Maybe get a new glass and pour
Okay.
the wine in.
I mean, he might enjoy it. I don't know, but yes, I will get a new glass. And
I think as you do that, he just looks and he goes, "Oh, fancy stuff, you say?"
yes, just for you, I caught a little bit of your tales while I was over there with the police officer, and yeah, I knew you were the man to come and see to learn about this area.
Well, many people say that, and I confess it's true. Take a seat, take a seat. And he kind of like settles himself in. What is it that you're wanting to know?
Well, go on, Dr. Russell.
We've been catching tales of old Meg and Saint Biron and some sort
yes.
of. We're just so curious about the full story of what happened with them. It's so fascinating to us. Actually, what am I saying? I don't have to pretend like we're writing a book anymore. It might help us in our investigation, old Gaffer. Please tell us what happened.
Investigation. Well, I hope you can do a better job than the old police are doing, because
not a
they're
high
doing
bar.
a terrible job. All right.
Some things are the same everywhere.
So I hear. But you want to know about old Meg. Well, old Meg is a very famous standing stone in the area, but I'm sure you already know that. It's the legend surrounding her that you want to know about.
Oh, yes.
Most of the books, they're written from a certain perspective, you see. They paint her as this mortal witch, sort of some kind of inference to the pagan roots of the country versus some of the newer ideas that came in. Many think that old Meg is a pagan witch, and the defender, the person that defeated her, Saint Biron, some Christian saint, come in to come in and bring new light and religion to the country. But that's not what this tale was. Not truly. If you live round here, you know that old Meg was a monster. She was no mortal. She was a creature, some dastardly, nasty thing. Claws and teeth and magic spells. She knew magic, yes. Winter followed old Meg everywhere.
Like this one.
Interesting. Whole thing sounds preposterous to me. But then what do I know?
Does it
Winter
indeed?
Followed
I'm telling
her.
you now that it is true. It's people
And
used
the
to
stone.
leave offerings to her, like livestock and things by her cave, and prisoners even, criminals to appease her, should they need it. She accepted sacrifices in order not to attack the people, the old time folk that lived here. But she was driven back. She can't be killed, but she was driven back into her stone form, and that is how we ended up with the standing stone that we all know.
And sorry, who drove her back to her stone form?
Saint Biron, the legendary Saint Biron, the saint of this area. He had a weapon that he used, a blessed weapon. As I said, it's impossible to kill her, but with some consecrated weapon, something that has been blessed by and he kind of points towards Edgar, member of the clergy and such. That's what you use against a monster like Meg. Many people have many thoughts on where she came from. Some think she was the sister of Morgan Le Fay, you know. She is
Who's
very, very old.
who's
But
Morgan the who? What?
Morgan Le Fay, some witch of King Arthur's time.
Did you?
I'm just wondering, how is Edgar reacting to this information?
Edgar seems roll just a general empathy check for me.
Okay. One success.
One success. You get the feeling, as you kind of always have done with Edgar, in all your letters that you've written with him, he wants to debate with you. And you get the feeling he's very interested in sort of folklore and history and archaeology, and quite often those kind of stories, they conflict with a sort of the religious beliefs that he subscribes to. What Gaffer talks about, the way that a lot of the history books present the story is very much from a sort of more, it is like a legend, but it's not calling Meg anything that's kind of monstrous. It's more like she was a human, a human that kind of subscribed, or perhaps was some kind of heathen, essentially. It has a much more religious undertone to it, and that's probably more the story that Edgar would subscribe to. Because it falls in line with his teachings at the church, that Saint Biron and this sort of holy hero, as it were, has overcome a sort of pagan belief system, and but he is listening, and he is also interested in this other version, and while he doesn't necessarily want to believe it, there's parts of him that must, because he reached out to you. And when Gaffer Ingham said Winter followed this creature around, his eyes sort of like flicked to the window where you can kind of see this gentle snow falling, and you can tell he really doesn't want to think about the idea that this really might be some monster that has some way of coming back, or something that it can actually do right here, right now. but he wants this just to be a legend, you know, that's long in the past. But he's listening and he's staying quiet and he's really just fixated on what you can do. And the moment that he's meant this holy weapon is mentioned, you can see the cogs are turning a little bit, because this is something that he can do something about if this is needed. He is a man of the church. He is able to potentially bless weapons and such, and be able to make it so that they can help in some battle.
Okay.
Just to give an update, by the way, I have been given another GM complication, which I'm sure you're all absolutely thrilled about. And also an extra dice, or an extra die for Scooby. So Scooby, please feel free to add that to your personal pool, which you can pull from at any time should you need a little bit of an extra help. That is where we are at so far.
For the audience, Scooby is me, by the way.
Oh yes. I'm just gonna yes, Scooby. That's I feel like that was obvious from the way you went, yay!
Maybe I'm just very happy for my comrades, huh? Maybe I'm just
True.
a kind person.
Could be.
Yeah. Old Gaffer. Actually,
Yes. Yes. So I had to put the voice back on then. You hear? Yes.
Does Meg in the old stories, if as this creature, did she have any sort of shape-shifting powers or mind manipulation or anything of the sort?
Oh. Old Meg is a powerful. I mean, if the legends are true and she really was the sister of Morgan Le Fay, then she was a powerful being with access to all kinds of magic. Magic that affects the weather, magic that affects the mind, magic that affects shape-shifting. Very, very possible. I mean, she could shift into stone. It was something that she would do, but the Saint Biren made it so that she was trapped in that form. You understand?
Something I'm. Oh, go on, Dale. Go on. I have too many questions. Go on.
So if the legends are true, then, and St. Biren managed to force old Meg back and turn her permanently into this standing stone up on the hill, then perhaps should we be concerned that it's no longer there?
The stone?
Also, I've been told the standing stone is missing.
Oh. he blinks.
He didn't know.
And then he goes, missing? No one told us that. No, well, that's not at all written in the police reports or anything. That's a very significant detail that's been left out.
Oh, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, Dale.
Just gonna top up your wine for a moment there.
No. Don't you worry there a pretty little head about that.
Well, is it possible? It can't have just upped and disappeared, surely.
Oh, I think we've just our eyes were. Don't worry. I think we just misheard something. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry.
Edgar's just like. And I think he does turn to Edgar and he says, "What do you know about this? The stone missing?" And Edgar's not a liar, so he's going to say, "Well, I mean, I went to the place and I couldn't see it, but it's possible that perhaps the nature and the stones have crumbled and something might have happened to it. You see,
What exactly, Edgar?
Natural degradation of stonework. It happens, you know, erosion.
Happens over the course of a month. A month, does it?
A bird came and picked it up and took it away.
Surely it takes just one crack for the whole thing to crumble. Sometimes that's the way of things. That's the way of nature. Yes. Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um.
And oh, Gaffer, just hypothetically, if it had disappeared, which who knows if it has. So don't panic. What what could that possibly, do you think, have like how would that have happened? Do you think, if you know?
Well, if such a preposterous thing were true, well, first of all, it would have a significant impact in tourism in the community. But beyond that, uh,
Check.
beyond that, I think it would lay credence to the belief that old Meg might be back. Not something that we would like to think about here. Old Meg is an incredibly dangerous being of story. But if she is not just story, well then... And he kind of really thinks about it for a second, and then he says, you know, I used to talk to Daisy, young Daisy, about old Meg a lot. She was fascinated by stories of all kinds, but particularly that one. She really felt some connection to that stone. She told me that she would often go up there and think. It was her favorite place to think when her
Yes,
heart was troubled, or she was upset or angry about something. She would go there to calm down, and she would go and chat with old Meg. She
ever
felt
leave
some
any-
connection.
Did she ever leave any sacrifices like you mentioned people used to?
Oh, no, nothing like that. She is a good girl. She was a lovely girl, but she was interested in the story, and she felt connection to that stone. And, you know, she's interested in those old pagan beliefs, witchcraft, things like that. She liked to go and pick herbs and mix potions, and she would ask me about things like that often. So I suppose perhaps if you were really subscribing to the idea that these things are true, perhaps she herself has some witch blood in her.
Well, it might be worth us going up to the hill and having a look, just so if in case we might be able to figure out what happened to the stone.
Yes.
There's also one person who we must talk to who could give us a lot of answers. A person who has been the second biggest victim of all of this, Billy.
If we could manage that.
Yes, well, that will potentially be difficult, but I fear you left a mixed impression on the constable that came here. Perhaps if you had left a better one, it would be easier. But also, I would.
This action will have consequences.
This action will have consequences. Constable Edward Moore will remember this.
Constable Moore will remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the Telltale references. So he looks he does. I think what you would note is that he does look troubled by the idea of the standing stone having moved. And here is where I am going to introduce a GM complication.
Oh, shit.
I am going to mark something on the clock. I'm marking a segment on a clock that you don't need to know anything else about. Because you would notice for the rest of the night that he is in deep conversation with many of the villagers. And there's a lot of grumbling and a lot of anger about certain key pieces of information like that potentially be left being left out on police reports, things being overlooked. There's already been a sense of that. They feel anger towards the police, but there also was some sense that they felt that perhaps the police were doing the best with the information that they had and just not being very good listeners. Now they feel like the police are purposefully twisting things a certain way to look like a certain outcome is the reason for Daisy's death. And that has sparked from just some grumbling and frustration to a much bigger sense of anger. And certainly you would know that the couple of gentlemen that were in here sort of chatting away, and they are very good friends of Daisy's father.
Oh shit.
And this is going to spread like wildfire. There is nothing that you can do about that. That is your
Daisy's
compliment.
father-
Old
yeah.
Dale's put his foot in it again.
No, I felt like it was it's fine. Got a lot of information from Old Man Gaffer, and it did spark him to tell you something about Daisy's connection with the stone that he would not have necessarily told you otherwise. But in return, I demand sacrifice.
Oh, the consequences.
All right.
Okay. Okay, Effie,
Consequences from
Dale.
actions. Mhm.
I am a little bit worried that the little bit of the stone information that accidentally got out might grow some panic in the community. And I
However,
feel
that might
like
have
we need
happened.
to. Yes, I feel like we need to hurry up, and I feel like we have got to go to Ansbury. Is it too late? What time is it? What time?
It's too
of day is
late
it?
to go now.
Yes.
You
so we
will
need
have to go in the morning. And I think
hey, wake up early, go to Ansbury, talk to the doctor, talk to Robert Banks, do whatever we can because we need to hurry this up.
and then I
Mm.
think equally your conversation with Tom Pawsey, he's willing to take you should you pay him a few shillings.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we can start.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I
Yeah, you
love the idea that you that Dale approaches with some trepidation, being like, "I need to borrow a few shillings because this guy was like tough nut to crack. He's making me pay it." Dr. Adelaide is like, "Yeah, whatever." Hand
Gail
hand
goes.
over. Oh,
Gail's like,
just
"Got
just
that one."
counts out like too many shillings and just like, yeah, just give him this, just like 5 shillings when he only asked for 2.
We're gonna get the VIP for
We're gonna get the VIP treatment. I think even Tom is just like
Tom will give us a little goodie bag with some nuts in it. Or
yeah,
something.
you're gonna get the
yeah.
whole thing.
Ooh,
And he's just gonna
Little trail mix.
Yeah.
snatch that money
Yeah.
from you before you've even blinked. And he's just gonna like count it and pocket it, and suddenly his smile is wide and almost inviting, and he's just like, well, I will see all of you tomorrow afternoon.
Is it what time is it now? Is there nothing else we can do tonight?
It is very late
Got
late
it,
at this
got it.
point. So
I just wasn't sure if it's like 8 p.m. or 2 a.m. or something.
yeah, I would say it's like bordering on well past bedtime at this point. You've been here for quite some time. And the police station will not be like the doctor certainly won't be about. Tomorrow morning is definitely the best time to go to Annansbury.
I would like to just tell you sort of why the thing about like, oh, Tom needed shillings. It wasn't like a cop out that I just had the money. It's like in my character that I'm rich and I've got like I've specifically put like character info on my points in my richness so that I could have money to spend.
Oh
on things
yeah,
like
yeah.
Oh,
I remember,
yeah.
you did.
Yes.
It wasn't
You
just like-
have definitely Tom Pawsey will remember this
That's why I
positively.
come to you for the fine wine.
Yes.
And
All
the
right.
many and varied teas, yes.
So you're
Yes.
heading back to the vicarage. You're heading back to the vicarage to kind of settle down for sleep.
As we are walking back, can I just chat with Edgar along the way? And I'm just thinking about this weapon that's kind of stuck in my head, and I'm thinking, we've dealt with things like this before. It could be that there is some other explanation, and it's not some terrible creature behind all of this, but might be worth him starting to think about
Yes.
providing us with
Providing
something.
you with some. Well, I think he listens thoughtfully as you talk to him, and you know that he respects your opinion and he respects your thoughts. He's always has done. He's always shown you the utmost respect, and he doesn't want to believe that this is the reality. But I think his intuition told him that there was something to this, which is what prompted him to reach out to you. So he heaves a bit of a sigh and deflates maybe a little, and he says, listen, all I want is for this to be resolved. I want peace within my community, within my parishioners. I want this tension that has arisen between everyone. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. There's been so much loss and so much grief. This is not the answer. More violence, and I worry as things escalate, especially after tonight. I do worry that yes, that things might get out of hand. I will, while you are in Annonsbury, I will bless your well, I suppose you have guns, don't you? So I will bless your ammunition, and you're going to
Effie
show
is-
him your.
Yeah, Effie's sliding on the knuckle dusters as he is speaking and going, can you consecrate these, my friend?
I think he sees you in an entirely new light. At this point, he's just looking at you and he's like, these are yours?
A lot has happened in the years since I have seen you, my friend.
Right.
I'll tell you sometime.
I had
Good
no idea
story.
that you were just looks over your quite slight frame, and it's like a fighter.
Yes,
But
I've been training. You missed it. There was a whole training montage and everything.
I've clearly missed a lot,
Dun,
and we
dun,
will
dun.
renew our acquaintance because I have so many more questions to ask you now. But yes, I will, of course, I will take your knuckle dusters and I will bless them. If anything more for my peace of mind of your protection. Whatever this
you're
thing
a good man,
is,
Edgar. I've always known that.
Saint Biron should be watching over you. Yes, and yes, I'm sure that I can come up with things while you are in Annonsbury, and then perhaps your friend Tom Pawsey, he is going to meet you here at the vicarage anyway, so it should all be done by the time that he arrives to collect you.
Oh, excellent, good lad. Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to do before we head to the next day?
Well,
Oh
I
boy.
believe no, not that. But I just noticed we haven't been notified yet, so maybe I shouldn't do this. But I just noticed on the stream that we've done gay apparel. We've got another Don Gay apparel.
Have we?
All right.
Yeah.
Have we?
Okay. Yes, we do. We've had the confirmation. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put a Christmas jumper on. So give me one.
I'm putting on these bubble earrings, which I technically was wearing last time, but they weren't one of the gay apparel things. So fuck off.
So it's hat number 2's going on.
I'm bringing back my favorites from last time.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now we know it's Christmas.
I think the hat's got to go though. There we go.
That's fine.
I'm not sponsored by Disney. But I do have
But it is
Olaf.
Christmas.
I do have
Adorable.
Olaf. All right. All right. Thank you so much for your for keeping an eye on that. Actually, cool. So you settle down sort of into bed, and you're kind of making your evening preparations. You're all getting ready. I would like all of you to roll me a d6, please.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Ugh,
That's a 1 from Effie.
that's a
Mhm.
2 from me.
4 for Dale.
A 4 for Dale. Dale,
Mhm.
you rolled the highest.
Uh-huh.
So as you are preparing for bed, sort of unpacking the few things that you need to do, kind of maybe getting ready to do a light little bit of reading or something. Your bed is situated next to a window, and you head on over towards it to shut the curtain over, so that you can kind of just enjoy the candlelight of the room. As you do, you take one last sweeping glance across the moors. And I did not do that.
Whoa! Balloons!
Read
Oh,
the
yes, there's
room,
balloons,
Pat.
right?
This is
What
now
magic is
this
this?
is now it.
Wow.
We've reached it. And so you take one last sweeping glance across the moors. I've got to really like not put my thumb up or two fingers or anything. I've got to be really careful apparently. And at this point the snow is starting to fall. It has gotten so much colder over the course of the evening, and I think you would have noticed that, especially kind of around the vicarage. There's a lot of frost kind of laying on the ground, and the moors behind are starting to build up this kind of. It's not. It's not the vibe of like a sort of gentle, fluffy, festive snow. It's sort of a little bit sharper. It's a much more dangerous, slippier, almost, and the way that the wind catches it, it almost feels charged with some emotion within it, some malevolence. And far, far in the distance along this moor, you spot a figure. A figure all in shadow with snow flurrying around them, slowly making their way across the horizon line.
Hmm.
I would like you to make me our first fear test.
Oh boy.
So let me
no.
just remind myself of that.
Could you remind us what a fear test was?
That's
well,
what I'm doing, but I gotta
Mhm.
remind myself first. I know it's a thing. I know it's a thing.
Do 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 do.
Is that hold music? I like it.
Our hold music. You are incredible. Thank you. When they must roll a fear test. I see. But how do we roll a fear test? It doesn't tell me this.
I'm gonna start caroling in a minute.
I feel like there's got to be a thing in maybe in the character keeper that I sent you. You're doing an excellent job, Scooby. Keep it up. Okay, now it's
Going for
distracting.
Okay.
Is it? Fear rating. Minus logic. Okay. Roll for me. Because this is not making any sense. You can yes. So you can choose between logic or empathy.
Mm-hmm.
So either
All of
your logic score or your empathy score. That's how many dice.
Cool.
They are the
Sorry,
same.
all of
the
us?
same-
No, it's just for Dale.
I think it's going to be the same either way for me. I have a question here. This might not be the right application of this,
Mm-hmm.
but I did bring something with me that I think is like a specific piece of equipment, the powdered stag's horn,
You did. You
which
did indeed.
from what I understand, it gives me the by using observation to resist. It says temptations of the Vaesen, which is why I'm not sure this would apply here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um. So, it's more about if a Vaesen is trying to tempt you into doing something,
But this is not
then
tempt.
you can use your observation skill to try to resist it. But I'm happy to twist it slightly. What is your observation score?
My observation is 2.
2. So I will allow you to add that extra 2 dice from your observation onto this to try to resist this effect.
So yeah, I think when Dale sees this, he grabs for his big heavy backpack, and it feels around the various pouches of things that are around it, and most of them are kind of like just kind of scraps of cloth tied up. But there's one very nice looking and much kind of cleaner looking leather pouch that he kind of just grabs and pulls off and just holds in his hand when he's looking out the window at this figure. Um,
Mhm.
that's there's no successes there on those 5 dice.
No successes on those
Nope.
5 dice. Would you like
You
to push
have-
your roll? You can push your roll.
I can.
You
So
can-
how does this work again?
So, you can push your roll. Do you know what? In this case, what I will do is I will allow you to, rather than keep pushing, I'll allow you to succeed, but you must take a condition.
Or
And it will be a
Dale,
mental condition.
Dale, remember,
Mm,
we do have 2 dice in the community pool.
although is it? I
So-
guess it's too late to add them, right? I have to add them
I think
before
it's
I
too
roll
late
it,
to add
or-
them at this point.
Okay.
I would have pulled from those before.
Time for a condition.
So I will
Um,
allow you to succeed, to have the successes you require, but you must take a mental condition. So either angry, frightened, or hopeless. You must kind of give a little like visual, a sort of like a description of why that condition has been arousing you, and it will mean that from anything that is logic and empathy related, you get -1 dice from now on until that condition is cleared.
Okay. I think based on this situation, I think frightened makes the most sense. I think up until this point, there's just been a lot of speculation about what might be happening and whether there is actually anything that's causing all these problems. But actually seeing it out there on the moors is a real shock to the Dale system. It just looks quite horrifying, and he's used to encountering Vaesen things, but this is something that he was not anticipating right now, and I think he gets scared.
All right. So you watch this creature slowly walk along the moors, and they kind of have like something of like a hunched element to their posture. You can see as you really look closely, they're holding on to some kind of staff and using that as like a walking aid. And they make their way very, very slowly across the moors. And you know, just from the way that the atmosphere and the weather and nature itself seems to be kind of reacting to this presence, that you are looking at something that is not human. It is a Vaesen. And you've seen Vaesen, you have the sight, of course, but of course you cannot help but wonder if you were looking at the Vaesen that could be the cause of all of these issues. The
Mm.
Vaesen that murdered Daisy Thomas. And as you think about her name, the creature stops walking along the moors and it slowly turns its body to face you. And amongst this shadow and this flurry of snow, you see two piercing red eyes staring in your direction. You shake as you kind of reach for your bag and begin to try to prepare and figure everything out. And as you kind of look at your bag, you hear very close, whispered right in your ear, "Boo."
Oh.
Dale leaps quite a distance from the window at this, and basically just scrabbles around and like I think basically just drops to the ground and leans back against the bed and trying to like put things in between, and it's just kind of shaking on the floor.
You turn around. There is nothing there. There is no one in this room with you, even though for just a moment you are sure that you could have felt claws closing around your shoulder. And all that is left of this creature as you turn your head back towards the window is the sound of laughter on the wind. Cackling, screeching laughter. And a mocking, whispered, "May Saint Baron's blessing be upon you," followed up by more laughter.
Oh my god, she ate.
Where Scooby! Where the shadowed figure was before, you see the shadow of a bird fly away. And I think you sleep restlessly that night, Dale. But the next morning, you are all off to Annonsbury.
Oh my
I
god.
think this feels like a good place to take a break.
Okay.
Almost the perfect place, in fact. I'm actually shocked that it's lined up this way. So with that in mind, everyone, we will be back in about 15 minutes. Shall we say 15 minutes? Nice 15-minute break for everyone to kind of stretch their legs and you know, hydrate. And I will never forget the time that once on stream I told everyone to get dehydrated. That is probably like one of my and I had no idea I did it until I went to break, and then someone was like, "So you just told everyone to get dehydrated?" So get hydrated, everyone. Grab some snacks. We hope you've enjoyed it so far, and we will be back in about 15 minutes, so about quarter to the hour. Thank you so much for joining. Cheerio. See you in a moment. Hello, hello. We have returned to our creepy game of Vaesen, raising money for War Child. So please do get those donations in. The Tiltify link, I think Nightbot has come through and
Nice one,
has
Nightbot.
given it. Thanks, Nightbot. No, don't put thumbs up, Cat. You're going to end up with all sorts of craziness going on your screen. So yeah, the Tiltify link is in the chat. Just to really give you some incentive. Even £5 can get you an incentive called crack a joke, and I'm going to give you a little sample now just because I'm sad that I haven't got to
Ooh.
do one yet. So what did Frosty the Snowman's girlfriend give him when she was mad at him?
What did Snowman's girlfriend give him when she was mad at him?
The cold shoulder.
Way.
Incredible. If
Get better material.
I just got booed by the channel in the
Oh,
chat, and that
no.
is not in the festive spirit. So I'm just going to
Aw.
put that out there. But if you want to hear more of that incredible comedic content, then simply
please.
donate £5. And I mean, I've got a list of 160 jokes, so you know, I've got content for days.
Yes, keep them coming.
All right. So there's that. Please do donate, because that is the real purpose of this stream. And also, we are running a giveaway. Rune Fable, the incredible Rune Fable, UK-based dice making company, have generously donated a full set of dice, and you can find down below on the Euphoria social media pictures of what those beautiful, beautiful dice look like. But if you want to be with a chance to win, you have to enter into the chat right now !dice giveaway, all as one block of text. I think my fellow players and I have given a really, really good example of what that looks like by all one after the other writing it in. So yeah, get those entries in. You might get a set, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I went to Dragon Meet recently and bought a set of Rune Fable dice, and just exquisite.
Stunning.
So can confirm, well worth the 2 seconds it will take you to type that. All right, shall we re-immerse ourselves? You wake up the next morning, and I know that you will probably want to head to Annonsbury fairly early. Edgar is more than happy to get you sort of like a coach as you had before, and it's only a
Crack of
half-hour
dawn.
drive away. But I just wanted to give our poor occultist Dale the space to inform his friends, as you kind of, I guess maybe as you're traveling to Annonsbury in this because you've got to, we don't need to have the are we nearly there yet moment, okay? But I will fast forward the journey as needed.
Okay.
You know, you kind of enter, you're in this carriage. Now is the perfect time to have a chat about, you know, what you've learned so far, the things that you know, if there's anything that you really, really want to know about when you get here to Annonsbury.
Dale's kind of looking out the window of the carriage and kind of jolts a bit and shakes his head. And, well, I think I saw it, or whatever it is, just before, you know, just when we went to our rooms last night.
Really?
It spoke to me. Well, it was messing with me, I suppose I would say.
Sorry, what did you see?
Well, I didn't really see much. It was surrounded by snow and blizzard and things. It was just a kind of shape in the dark, but it looked at me. It spoke to me.
What did it say?
Nothing kind. Just I think it was just trying to scare me, to be honest, and it worked. So there's that. It's not the friendliest of beasts. I think this one. I think whatever we may have found out yesterday. I think we should be looking to, you know, deal with this if we can. Or maybe we could just. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this. Maybe we could just go. Like this thing might
Dale?
be.
Dale, we can't go.
Okay. And I said, don't, Dr. Adelaide. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. Mhm.
Let's see this thing through to the end, and
Yeah,
then Dale, we'll go. I'll get you the biggest cup of tea you've ever seen. It'll be as big as your face.
Only if we're sharing a cup, Effie.
Sounds
When we get
like
back
the
to the
dream.
Yeah.
Biggest cup of tea, big as my face. My brain was like, yes, this is what I want. This is what I want in life.
Now, if only we could figure out how to enchant the cup so that it just refills itself when it's empty.
Yes.
Oh,
But we'll get to that
dream.
later, Effie. We'll put our heads together. But firstly,
That's for the epilogue.
what we want to talk to? We want to talk to a few people in this town. What do we want to know?
There was a doctor here, was there not? We wanted to speak with them.
Yes, sorry. Are we in? Yes, we're in Annonsbury now. No, right.
You're
Two things.
about to pull up
Heading
in
there.
Annonsbury.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right. 2 orders of business. One, we need to speak to the doctor. Second, we need to speak with Robert Banks, the inspector, and try our darndest to speak to Billy. I wish we had found out who Jenny was. Maybe somehow Tom will know and we can ask him, but that's all we can do here today. Maybe Billy will know. Whatever.
I
2
think
things.
Billy will know who Jenny is. Billy was accompanying Jenny to the
You know
Mayfair.
what, Kat? That's a
You know-
good point.
You've got us there.
You're
So-
quite smart.
says the coach driver through the door. Yeah, I think if anyone's gonna know who Jenny is, it probably is Billy, because Billy was.
Hold on, this is a private conversation, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Sir,
Shuts the door. Sorry, shuts the
please.
curtain. Shuts the curtain. I just love it. I just love popping these little NPCs in to give you players reminders. It's like my
It's
favorite thing to do.
corral us and-
Yep.
Yeah, just
I
get you
think
back on track.
If we can find out
think
why the police are so intent on putting Billy down for this.
Yes, I think we should speak to the doctor first because as much information as we have beforehand, before we speak to the inspector and Billy, is good because we'll have leverage or whatever. Who knows what we find out? Well, let's go find out who this doctor person is.
Yes, quite right. Quickly now. There's no time to
Speaking
wait.
of,
No
Speaking
time to
of-
wait.
Yeah, open again.
all
Coach
right.
driver.
Speaking of, I would like to use my little ability here.
Yes.
I've got an ability called Contacts, which says
I
once
had
per
a
session.
feeling you were gonna say something like that.
Mhm.
A doctor, maybe knowing a doctor. Now, wouldn't that be something?
Once per session, you can decide that you already know a certain NPC and that your relationship is a positive one.
Mhm,
That's
mhm,
it. Yeah,
mhm.
there you go. That's the
That's
gist.
going to make things a lot easier. So, an excellent use of that ability. So, you're heading to the doctor first, yes?
Yes.
All right. You would find the doctor's surgery. You kind of arrive in town. You know where the police station is. That's a pretty obvious building. You may have to ask for directions, but people are very easily. It's the kind of town. There's only that one doctor there. Everyone uses this doctor. And you find out, Dr. Russell, my dear friend, Dr. Russell.
Oh yes.
As the town member kind of points to the doctor and goes, oh, the doctor, yes, Dr. Mellors is his surgery is just down the street to the left.
Mellors.
Left.
Mellors.
Yes, Mellors. Oh, you know him?
Martin Mellors?
Let me just check. No, Cuthbert.
It's been a while.
Cuthbert, but his middle name is Martin. Yes.
Oh.
Cuthbert, Dr. Cuthbert Martin Mellors. Yes, that's the one.
Oh no. This isn't okay.
I do believe his friends refer to him as Martin. Very strange.
Are you quite all right, Doctor? You look a little bit pale all of a sudden.
Yeah, I thought this was an old friend of yours.
My good friends, I apologize what may or may not happen in the next 15 minutes or so. Let's get this over
Okay.
with, shall we?
Oh, this should be interesting.
Dr. Russell seems very out of sorts now for the two of you.
Which way?
so-
Dr. Mellows, which way is he?
Yes, down the street to the left.
Sorry,
And you find it once it's been pointed out to you. You do find it. It is a surgery. It's in quite a large house on the edge of town. He lives on kind of like the upper floor of the building. But outside there is a signpost. And of course, you do read, just in case you were wondering, is this the same Dr. Mellors? It is indeed Dr. Cuthbert Martin Mellors. And you know this person. He's kind of, you knock on the door, and you hear his voice. How old? Remind me how old Dr. Adelaide Russell is.
35-ish. 35-ish.
35-ish, yes. So he's about 35-ish. And he's kind of tall. He's dressed very well. He's got a sort of a very neat moustache and gold-rimmed glasses. And you will remember him. He's always been a very precise kind of person, like a very sort of logical, very good at keeping a cool head in most scenarios. There were, of course, some, have some parties, some soirees, some little students, lads out on the town. I can't believe that we're talking about like this many centuries ago, and it's just like lads, banner,
Blah.
lads. And you kind of hear his voice, and it's a little jarring as he kind of like he kind of opens the door and he goes, "Yes, hello, Addie. Is it you?"
Martin.
I can't believe. Come in. What a surprise!
I just business. Oh, business. It's serious. I'm here on serious work related reasons.
Serious work related business. Yes,
Yes.
Addie. Yes, we know. Very serious. You're so serious. And he's
I am.
so
I am.
amused.
I am.
Yes.
Cuthbert,
A drink.
I
Yes.
am.
Scotch on the rocks, and he starts to
I'm
like.
not, I can't.
A Scotch, you say?
Dr. Mellows?
Dr. Russell. You always
Mellows?
told us that you don't drink.
I am at work. It's been a long time.
Oh, you're at work. Oh, okay. So only one. Yeah, sure, that's fine. And then he starts to.
Okay, two. Thank you.
Yes, there we
Yeah.
go. Addie, I see you're bringing the party again. Very good, very good.
Yes, Addie. We'll just have the one.
Already my favorite NPC. Not at all how he's written in the adventure, but that's fine.
It had to be.
He kind of pours it, and it's exactly as you remember. He was always kind of like pulling drinks like this, and he gives it to you. He goes, "I can't believe you're here. What? Well, why? Come on then. Serious business." And he sort of sits down. Take a seat. Tell me, present to me, what is this serious business that you speak of? He definitely doesn't think you're here for serious business.
I believe you have in your possession a young lady, diseased, deceased.
Oh, you never could hold your drink. You've only taken a sip, though.
I want you to know that I pretended to take a sip, and the little droplet that's in my mouth is still swirling in there. It's like I haven't swallowed. It's a young deceased lady called Daisy Thomas.
Daisy. Oh, yes. Well, I mean, obviously, Addie, not in my possession anymore. Daisy has been buried, I'm afraid. The unfortunate incident that happened was about a month ago.
Right.
Even I,
Yes.
miracle worker that I am, cannot keep her fresh that long.
Right. Yes. Okay. So, Dr. Mellows, I think we should. I just wanted to speak to you, the professional that dealt with her
Yes.
dead body.
That's me.
and
Yes,
examined it.
yes.
Yes,
You're very
What?
flustered, Addy. Are you okay?
I am fine. And I was
The
wondering.
country air getting to you, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Allergies, I think it is. So what did when you examined the body, what did it look like to you? What was it like? What did you see?
Okay. As your GM, I am torturing you with this, and I'm torturing your character with this, but you do have a positive relationship. Now, normally, good old Dr. Mellors would require a test, but because you have invoked the power of the contact, Dr. Mellors is very easygoing around you. Perhaps perhaps a tad too easygoing. And he goes, "Oh, well, yes, you're welcome to read my notes, of course, Addy. Is professional interest, or caught up in the drama? You always were a terrible gossip."
I'm not. I have not been a terrible gossip, actually.
Oh, are we trying to impress your new friends? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Addy is as good as gold. Not a blemish on her record. Isn't that right, sorry, Dr. Adelaide. Wink.
Did you just say wink?
Notes.
I did. But I'm going to have that the doctor did as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't. Please, let's not talk about things like that.
All right,
could I
all
have
right.
the notes, please?
All right, notes, yes. And he kind of hands it to you to read. Here's the rundown of what you get from this. The notes. So this is So essentially, this is from his post-mortem examination. And it's a copy of the report as well that was sent to Inspector Banks. His conclusion was that, and this is very interesting considering that this was sent to Inspector Banks, Daisy was attacked by a large and vicious animal, possibly a bear. The only problem with this theory is that bears are thought to have been hunted to extinction. And of course, wolves also have not been seen around for a number of centuries. Nonetheless, Mellors insists that the wounds on the body were caused by a powerful creature with very long claws. He also found that, trigger warning for gore, several internal organs were missing, apparently eaten. They seemed eaten. So he is very much of the opinion that some kind of animal is responsible. Certainly not that she was murdered by Billy.
Well, that much, I'll be
And-
honest, we figured. Go on.
He kind of leans back as you're reading, and he goes, "If you're looking into this, I'm sure you've heard that the young lad has been arrested."
Well, yes, if this report was sent to the inspector, then why
It was I
he
hand
ignored
delivered
it.
it.
So he's just ignored it then.
And this is it is public knowledge that she was ravaged by what people believe was a wolf. So
Well-
people know that.
Of course, it's public knowledge. Her own father found her.
Yes.
Word spreads like wildfire in places like these. You know how it is, Addy, being of a gossiping mind yourself. So I'm at a loss. I'm at an utter loss with the police. That I hand delivered the report. I wrote to them many times. I've gone round there myself. I have defined all of my findings. I felt like I was giving a lecture back at school, if I'm honest. And still he remains convinced. And the only thing that I can think of is, as much as I can tell, it is certainly some kind of animal that has caused this. Something with claws, long claws, sharp teeth. This is not a clean cut of a knife, okay? And as much as I can tell, I can understand, I suppose, that predators like that, they just simply don't exist. They don't exist here. So I imagine his superiors were not happy with the explanation, and he had to come up with a different one. But it seems very unfair, very unfair. The boy might hang for a crime that he did not commit.
Well, don't you worry, because we are headed to Robert Banks right now after this meeting to talk to him about this, because I will not let that boy go get.
Let me tell you, the man is bullheaded. He will not be persuaded. I mean, he had the cheek to tell me, a doctor who has studied this for, well, I mean, you know, years we spent studying this, Addie, and he had the cheek to tell me that I was wrong and didn't know what the cut of an agricultural implement
Oh
looked
my
like.
God.
Let me tell you, I mean, I'm at an
That
utter
is-
loss.
We
The man
learned
has
that in
lost
the
my
first
respect.
year. Honestly.
We learned all about agricultural
Fair
implement cuts. It's the first session that we took that I can remember that I
most-
wasn't hungover in.
You learned first aid, agriculture.
Agricultural implements is agricultural implements 101. I remember that lesson so well.
I took agricultural implements 102 as a
Well,
gen
well,
ed
there you go,
elective.
Addy, you see? And the man has the cheek to tell me that I don't know my agricultural implements from my bear claws. What an absolute travesty. The police are, and they're digging their own grave, you know, with the people here, not listening to them. These people, they're a tight-knit community. They know each other. They know each other. Now, if you were to tell me someone like, I don't know, Tom Pawsey had done it, well, then maybe then I would be thinking, but not Billy Winchcombe.
Why would you think that Tom Pawsey did?
Yeah, what's
No,
the deal with Tom
unsavory
Pawsey?
man. He cares only for the money.
Well, yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that
in my
much we
experience with him,
know.
that's true. Yes.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Then again, Addy, I suppose I am talking to you, money bags over there, eh? Am I right? Am I right?
I think it's best if we go now. And this has been wonderful.
Oh, surely not. You don't wish to stay?
I
This has
want
been
to.
quite nice, Addy.
Yeah,
I can tell you
everyone
some
having a
stories.
wonderful time.
Let me tell you some
time
stories of.
Oh yes, yes.
What? I'm just gonna like pushing everybody out the door.
Wait, oh, no.
nice to
I
meet
said-
you.
Look at the
Yes.
time. Look at the time.
No.
Oh my god. Nice to meet you, Dr.
All
Melrose.
right.
Goodbye.
All right. So you want to head to the police station next, correct? Cool. Here's what I'm going to give this to you, but in the interest of kind of time and making sure that we stay on time, I'm gonna go ahead and say that you kind of enter the building. The police inspector, well, first you are met by another constable. And no,
Another
sorry, a sergeant, sorry. So he's a little higher up. His name is Jack Worrell, and he's very he very much doesn't seem to want you there, or bothering the inspector. Is it the inspector that you wish to speak to, or is it Billy?
Billy, primarily. Though, oh, that's tough. Ooh, both, but we don't have time for both, do we?
Well,
think
I mean,
maybe
you
because
can
Billy was
ask
there,
for both. I can give you the rundown because the inspector is you can eventually speak to the inspector. You see the
Let's do Billy
the
first.
junior officer that you spoke to the day before, and once he sees you, he looks momentarily like surprised. I think he didn't think that you were going to actually come. And then he kind of says to the sergeant, "Oh no, I spoke to them yesterday. I did offer to let them speak to the inspector, you know, so that they can make sure that they're happy with everything that's going on." And the sergeant rolls his eyes and he says, "Junior, you're not supposed to just give up the inspector's time like that.
And
All
you
right, very
me.
well, very well. And he lets you through to speak to Inspector Robert Banks.
Mhm.
A lot of the information that you get from the inspector is essentially things that you've already learned. What I would like is for one of you to make an empathy test, please. And it can be any one of you, whoever has.
I can do that. So that is 5. 1 success.
1 success. Cool.
Mhm.
That is all you need. So he is exactly as Dr. Mellors described him. He is a sort of a quite bullish man, very stocky, got bright red hair, and comes across as incredibly plain spoken, incredibly confident. He is stuck in his theory that Billy is the perpetrator. But I think with a success in the empathy, what you would kind of get from his conversation and what he tells you is he is a man under an awful lot of pressure to impress some of the higher ups back at Scotland Yard. They are interested in this case because it is an unusual one. And the idea of an animal, a predator that has not been seen around these parts for so many years, is utterly preposterous to him. Or even if he would give it credence, he knows that his higher ups won't, and he will become something of the laughing stock of the police force. So he has that awareness. Second thing is the other theories that are being presented to him by villagers as this unseasonal cold is happening, crops are starting to rot, animals are being attacked, is some sort of curse or a ghost. These are not things that he can present as theories that would stand. He, to you, presents himself as confident that Billy is the perpetrator, because it must be Billy, because it has to be Billy, because it can't be any of these other things, because if it's one of these other things, then that means that their folklore, their superstition, their magic, and that he can't present that. But what you do get out of him that he is doing is he is still got people looking into it, and he is still he is what's the word, he is delaying as much as possible Billy's trial. He calls it, he is still collecting evidence, as much evidence as he can against Billy. But you get the sense, I think, that what he's really doing and really hoping for is that something else will present itself. Some other mass murderer that is not Billy or something will present itself. Some other evidence will come to light that will reveal the true answer, because it cannot be any of these foolish notions of superstition. But the true answer will present itself, and he will be able to release Billy and find the real perpetrator. So, on the one hand, terrible policing, because he's just arrested this man that deep down, I think he knows is innocent. But on the other hand, there is some sense of, I suppose, conscience there. He is trying to delay things. But you will know from him now that Billy has about a week before his trial.
Okay.
All right. So that's what Inspector Robert Banks gives you. And I think that he would allow you to speak to Billy. And so Billy. Billy. Where am I?
Do, 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 do,
Don't put the hold music on me.
do, 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 do.
Okay. So, Billy Winchcombe is sitting in one of the cells awaiting trial. This is about a week away. Inspector Banks is still collecting evidence.
Right.
You approach the cell, and I'll allow this to be a little bit RPE. So he kind of looks up at you as you do, and he looks a little distrustful. And honestly, like I think the main thing you would read from Billy is that he looks very frightened and very he is grieving as well, but he's almost not had time to really even properly grieve. And he looks up at you and he goes, "Who are you?"
Billy Winchcombe.
Yeah.
First things I want to say as we're here is we are very sorry this is happening to you.
You are?
Well,
Edgar Lomkby's friends.
Oh, the vicar, yeah. Right. Okay. I don't know him very well.
But you know him,
Well,
and that's better than we're three strangers.
Right, yeah.
He asked us to, well, given the quality of the police work that's going on surrounding recent events, he asked us to conduct our own investigation. And, well, it's quite obvious to me, to all of us, that this has nothing to do with you. And if anything, you're just being made into another victim here.
So you, Edgar, and you believe me. You believe me.
The whole town believes you.
Yeah.
They do?
We've talked to a lot of people since we've been here, and not one of them thinks that you did this.
I've not seen my parents. I thought that they thought that I did this.
Absolutely
not at
not.
all. Not in
Robert
the
Banks
slightest.
Never.
Robert Banks has been keeping anybody from being able to see you. We barely got in.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, I didn't hurt Daisy. I love Daisy. I'm in love with Daisy. We were gonna marry.
Speaking, right. You know what?
Sensitive subject.
Addie?
Adelaide is Dr. Russell or Adelaide.
Oh, you're
Please,
a doctor.
Effie.
You're a doctor.
Yes, I'm a doctor. You know, Adelaide is not she does not have a lot of points in empathy, so I'm not gonna let her be very like appropriate and like sensitive with this subject. She's gonna be like, why were you at the May Day with a girl called Jenny if you were in love with Daisy?
He looks a bit like taken aback for a second, and he went, "Oh, blimey! Does everyone know about that?"
A bit.
Yeah.
You know the town you
Jenny.
grew up in.
I guess Banks is probably using that as his main point of offense against me. Jenny is a distant cousin of mine.
Oh.
She's coming to stay. She was in the area. I took her to the parade because Dad told me I needed to show her around and, make sure that she felt comfortable. And like, I don't know her very well, but I mean, she's nice enough. But I saw Daisy. I know she was upset about it. I tried to go after her, but I couldn't find her. She is fast runner, that one, when she wants to be.
Oh, like me.
He kind of really looks at you and he goes, yeah, if you say so. Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, you wasn't.
You wouldn't be surprised.
Incredible.
So, but then that would mean, I mean, obviously your family would know this, but no one else that we talked to seemed to know that's who she was.
Well, people just kind of gossip, don't they? Maybe they didn't ask.
I guess you're right. I guess you're
Daisy
was
was
It's such a mess. And he kind of like puts his head in his hands, and he he seems pretty distraught. Like it seems like the things that he's saying are sincere. He was excited to marry Daisy. He's devastated to have lost her. Has not had the time to really figure out his feelings on that at all because he's immediately been put in a cell and told that he's the one that murdered her. And he knows that he didn't. He's worried. I think mostly what you get from him is that he's worried about what Daisy's father thinks of him, because that's really important to him. Like, he doesn't like the idea of Daisy's father at all thinking that he would ever hurt Daisy. And heartbreak or murder in either way. Like, he was really uh, he was really happy that he had such a good relationship with Daisy's father, and that's that upsetting to him. Other than that, he's not particularly talkative. He seems kind of a little bit in shock. But he does give you some context as to who Jenny is, and
Yeah.
you do now know. Yes.
Son, I did also hear some inklings about Daisy has been very interested in sort of local folklore, and she would
Yeah.
I've been told she liked to hang around old Nick's standing stone. What's that
Well,
all about?
I mean, she had a we respected each other's privacy at times, you know. She had her place, and I wasn't supposed to know where it was because that's where she would go if she wanted to be by herself, you know, and that was fine by me. That was okay. I kind of liked that air of mystery about her. She was kind of into the witchy stuff, all like stories and things, but she knew how to like make all sorts of weird potions and stuff. Like once I grazed my knee and she put some kind of salve on it and it felt so much better so quickly. And you could see the genuine like love that he had for this girl. Like he really loved her. And then it occasionally will hit again that she's not around anymore, and he kind of draws back into himself, I think.
Interesting.
Well, look, lad. If there's one thing we can do before we leave this place, it's to get you out of here. All right?
You think you can do that?
I'm gonna
I don't
jolly well try.
I love Effie with all my heart. All right. So in the interest of time, I'm gonna fast forward you now a little bit, and we're gonna head on over. You are able to head to the vicarage. You are able to get hold of your blessed weapons, your blessed knuckle dusters, your ammunition. He's blessed the bloody lot. He has, and
My blessed compass.
he yes, yes, sure, blessed everything. Um,
Bless you and bless you and
all of you. And he, Tom Pawsey, rocks up not too long after. He begins to walk you. So he kind of takes you out, and he actually walks you past the farms, and he seems like he seems a little bit different with you actually, Dale, than he was the day before. Like I feel like you would probably get from him, he's a little bit more talkative, and you don't get the sense that it's necessarily just because you gave him like 5 shillings and so now he's giving you the VIP treatment. It actually, I think it comes a lot from the way that you handled the police. And the way, he especially actually seems to have warmed to good old Dr. Addy over here, Dr. Adelaide, just because she was just so willing to be quite rude to them.
Yeah.
And quite disrespectful. And so I would like you to make a manipulation test. And I'm going to say it's going to have to be Dr. Adelaide that does it, as
shit.
he's being quite talkative with you, with all of you, but especially he seems to be
Mhm.
directing it.
In
to
that
Dr.
case, I'm
Adelaide.
gonna use one of my special dice.
Yeah.
Absolutely can. And you
otherwise-
still got the ones in the pool as well, remember? So
Yeah,
you've got two
so
in the pool.
right, so I've got 2 dice that I would get from manipulation because that's all I have in empathy because that's the bare minimum. If I get 1 from my own, that's 3. Do you think it's worth it to, take another one? Or is that
I
too
think I think there's that you getting the fourth one gives you like more chance
Yeah,
of succeeding
why
than not. So probably that's
Alright. I just don't want to waste the one, pool thing.
It's never a waste.
2 successes!
Yeah!
Heck
Didn't
yes.
even need
Addy,
it.
A-
Addy.
Addy. All right. So he kind of takes you to the surrounding countryside, and as he walks kind of through the farmlands, he says, all right, let's take a detour here. Actually, I've got something to show you."
Shit.
And he takes you through some of the fields where you can see that there were livestock here. Currently this field is empty. There's no sign of any sheep anywhere, but there were livestock here. And sort of the one patch of the ground is burnt. And he says, now obviously there's no body. They burn them just to discourage predators and such. Not that we really have predators around here. Foxes is about the best you'll get. Foxes and badgers, but not, of course, if you include whatever got to Daisy. But well, here was where the animal was, and he kind of starts to point out a rough path of where these animal attacks are happening. Does someone want to make an observation check just to see if they can kind of glean anything from this area?
I can only do an observation. Although I am at -1 because I'm frightened, but that still leaves me with 4 for observation.
Oh, yeah, that's still better than what I have.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 1 success.
Yay!
Hey, you are absolutely killing it. All right, so you kind of, as you're looking around, something that you notice is this area, even despite the fire, despite the burning, has remained incredibly frosted. And I think that what you would see as well, as he points out these kind of areas where the animals have been attacked, and he's taking you on a route. He's taking you on a route towards Old Meg's Holt because that is where you said you wanted to go. But he kind of points out the areas as he goes along. And not only is the ground incredibly frosted, you would notice that the plants are very withered and dead, really. But it's a sort of almost unnatural. It's not the kind of withering that you get during the frosty season. It's like they're really dead. It's like they're rotting almost. It's a very different and strange kind of effect, and he would actually, you would see that he's noticed it too. He kind of sort of kneels down and picks at kind of a blade of grass, and it crumbles in his hand. And he kind of looks up at you, and I think he does look at you, Dale, because he can see you really analysing, and he says, "Weird, innit?"
Exactly the words I was going to use. Yeah. So does
Right.
this just? I can kind of see it follow. You can kind of follow these attacks in this kind of the same kind of direction that we're going.
Sorry, what was the burning from again? The burn patch. What was that?
Oh, they burn the animals. They burn the animals, just in case disease or anything
it,
like that. It's
got it,
just to,
got it.
yeah.
Interesting.
And it's like this, and I kind of get one of the little plants, and like you can see it withers and falls apart. It's like this in all the other sites as well.
It's like it everywhere. And all right, I haven't really said about this, but there is something else I should show you. If you're really looking into this, and you seem kind of serious about looking into this and properly looking into this, not like what the police are doing, because they're not looking into it at all. But they're clearest over at the hole. There's tracks there that I should show you.
Lead the way. I let
Human?
I let like the pieces of the plant fall to the ground. Like, still think it was a wolf.
Human tracks or creature tracks?
You know what, Doctor? The best answer I have for you there is both.
Let's go and look at it.
Yeah, let's go have a look.
Have a look.
Best
And
answer is look at it for yourself.
he takes you to Old Meg's Holt. If I can find Old Meg's Holt, because it should be here. You know, it's quite an important one. It's quite an important one. So you end up. So basically, he's kind of taking you on a trail through both the Thomas farm and the Winchcombe farm, actually, because they are the two main farms of the area. Here we go. So you kind of end up pulling up at this small kind of. It is a cave. It is a cave in the side of a crag that overlooks the Thomas farm. Its roof. The cave's roof is about 6 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. You can kind of see into it, and there's not really much in there to see, as it were. It's got a kind of like compacted dirt floor. The cave is empty, and the floor doesn't really seem to have been disturbed or anything recently. If you could all please make me investigation checks, and I will
I'm
tell
good
you
at that.
with some help from our good friend Thomas Pawsey.
1,
I will tell you what you find.
4, 5, 6, and 7. Shit.
That is 1 success from Effie.
One from Dale as well.
Okay.
2 from me.
Ooh.
Okay. Wow. Damn. You just found everything. Excellent. Outside the cave mouth. So here's what you find. I'm just going to kind of list it. You find a freshly dug hole. The soil around it is very churned up. And this is where Thomas points out what he was talking about. You can see footprints. Most of them are prints that look like bare human feet. So with no kind of boots or anything on them. They look like bare feet. But they have long, long claws. Which is kind of gross to think about, actually. Very long clawed toes. And he kind of says that he's seen those tracks, and they've been washed away by the rain and everything like that since, but he's seen those same tracks around the attacks at the Winchcombe and the Thomas farm. So the two kind of the animal attacks, he's seen those same tracks as well. You also see where the stone was, and that it is now missing. You find out that Thomas Pawsey had also noticed that the stone was missing. And I think he kind of opens up a little bit. He says, look, this is all information I could have given to the police, but I didn't really see the point in it. They just seem so set on it being Billy, and, well, honestly, they don't trust anything I say anyway.
Yeah, we kind of found that out ourselves.
Yeah, it would have been helpful if you told somebody else, but you know, we know now, I suppose.
I don't think they
Right,
would have really
and who
listened to
exactly should I
anything.
have told?
I don't think this is a conversation that is going to be productive.
Addy! He kind of looks at Alan and is just like, see, she knows what's what.
Objection withdrawn.
Objection withdrawn.
Sustained.
You also find a patch of very dark soil, and he would be able to point this out as the place that Daisy's body was found, and there is obviously mixed in the soil. They don't try too hard to get rid of these things because nature itself will do that eventually. So there is some blood still here.
Oh. Ooh.
I don't know if this is the right time to do my specialist thing.
I
Possibly
feel
see
like
if we
it's
can
the
help.
perfect time to do your
Go
specialist
for
thing,
it.
Yeah.
Kirkwood.
Yeah.
So Dale kneels down. He kind of scrapes around and sees the blood, and says, "All right." I think probably Adelaide and Effie have seen him do this sort of thing before. But he takes a blanket roll off the top of his bag and unfurls it and spreads it on the ground and just goes, "It's a bit cold," and then takes out a bowl and some sticks of incense and lights them, and he takes a bag, one of the pouches off of his bag, and takes out a powder that's kind of the texture of sand and lets it fall in a circle around the bowl, and then he just sits cross-legged on the blanket and invites the others to sit down with him, and he lifts a pendant that's always hanging around his neck out from under his shirt, and he kind of twists the little circle of metal that's in the pendant, and a small dome of crystal kind of raises up out of it, and he holds out in front of him his little miniature crystal ball, portable for ease of
Portable crystal ball.
portable
We
crystal
love it.
Mm.
Yes.
Very cool.
and he just holds his hand over it and sees if he can't invite any spirits to come speak with the four of them.
And is there a spirit that he's particularly looking for?
Daisy, Thomas.
I felt like that would be the answer.
Mhm.
And I think that you can get that connection. What I would really, really love you to do is I'm going to give you a temporary magic score here.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it to you as because I've got a spell in front of me that I can see that kind of basically has a similar effect. And if you were gifted a scroll or something like that to give you that, this is what it would give you. So your magic score is going to be 8, which means you have 8 die. And I would like you to roll them all and tell me how many successes you get. And this will pertain to how much information that I give you.
That's 3.
3 successes. That is a beautiful amount of successes. Okay, so you try to connect to Daisy. And I think the connection, despite it a month having gone by, Daisy's memory is so locked in this entire surrounding area. Daisy's story, the grief around what's happening with Billy, you feel immediately Daisy's spirit. She is unsettled. There is much chaos in her existence and the energy that has left behind of Daisy. Just much fear, fear about Billy, fear about her own circumstances, fear about her death, fear about the consequences of her death and what it means. And from that, you are able to pull some information. The first thing that you can pull is not particularly fun to witness. It is the moment of her death and how it came about. You feel her grief and heartbreak. You feel how in the moment angry she was, how resentful she was, how misunderstood she felt, how I think she felt that Billy was the only person in the village who truly understood her beyond she's a lovely girl. Even old Gaffer would give her information about the folklore and things like that, but he didn't really understand her as a person, and Billy was the only person who was really accepting of her her love of magic and her love of this particular tale and her connection with old Meg. And she had this fear that as you see in that moment, this creature kind of clasp its clawed hands on her shoulder. She's frightened, not because she knows she's about to die, even though she does. She's frightened because she knows that what is about to be unleashed is her fault. It is the fault of her emotions. The magic in her blood has drawn this creature out, and this precise set of circumstances of strong emotion has manifested itself into a desire to have old Meg to talk to.
Mm.
And old Meg answered her call. And old Meg eased the pain. And that realization that she has too late of that wish that she has made to have old Meg help make it better, and the realization that she did not specify the terms correctly of that bargain. And her magic now is what allowed old Meg to become strong, and it allowed her to kind of rise and do what she is doing to the village. So you get that. You get then, I think you get a feeling of movement. You feel that old Meg travels only at sort of dusk and beyond. You can feel her walking. You can feel her transforming into various creatures. You can feel her testing out the the limits of her new magic. You feel, because you have touched Daisy's blood, and Daisy's blood now runs through old Meg and fuels her, you feel some connection with this creature herself. And during the day, you feel her transform back into stone to protect herself. So that she may roam again at night. And the weather patterns kind of shift to adjust to that. During the day, the snow dies down, the frost just starts to melt, and then old Meg wakes up back at night, and the blizzard, the storm, there's a sense of urgency, there's a sense of countdown. It's getting stronger and stronger. The kind of range that it's able to reach out to is getting wider and wider. And as long as old Meg roams, and is powerful enough to do so, she will eventually take all of the United Kingdom and beyond. Britain is her goal. She can do this because she has woken. The third thing you get comes as a shout from Tom Pawsey. And as you kind of pull yourself from this moment, connecting with her blood, he says, "Hold up, how'd that get there?"
Uh-oh.
And you all look up. Tom Pawsey is some distance away, and the sun is just about to dip below the horizon.
Is it perchance a standing stone that he has found?
Do you ask him?
Yeah. I say that. So, it wouldn't have happened to be. You wouldn't have happened to found a tall stone obelisk.
Yeah, it's. I know this place. Old Meg Stone should be. And he turns around, and the sun just starts to creep below.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And you watch as cracks begin to form along this stone. He's talking to you. He's stood in front of this creature as it twists its neck round and comes out, and the bush next to it begins to form itself into the shape of a long staff, a long hawthorn staff, which she grabs, and her eyes set to the back of Tom Pawsey's head. Now, we don't have enough time to go into combat, as it were. So, here is what I am going to do. I'm going to get each of you to tell me, I guess, an action and the way that you kind of... I want you to kind of narrate how you get this to go, but we're going to do it via tests instead. So we're going to get you to... I want you to justify an action, essentially. So choose a skill, justify one thing each that you would like to do to contribute to this, be it I want to rescue Tom Pawsey, I want to take on the creature, I want to begin to Saint Biron it up, as it were. Each of you get one thing that you can do in this moment as she is turning from stone and she is setting her sights on the man in front of her, and you know for a fact that one more person is going to die unless you do something. Who would like to go first?
I have an idea. Do you want to just figure out what we're going to do, so know which order to do it in?
I want to get
Absolutely.
Tom. I want to get Tom and save him.
Okay.
Okay.
I was
Unless
going
somebody
to say that as well. So if you want to do it, you figure something out.
I think I'm better as like helping somebody in case somebody gets injured, or like maybe Tom.
We can decide on an order. So think of the action that you want to do, like what is your goal, what is the thing that you want to do, and then we'll decide on an appropriate order of kind of how this happens.
So the idea I had was I was going to use my so when I hear Tom Posey call for me and I turn, and I can use that eagle eye skill that I have
Ooh.
to use vigilance to recognize the threat that he's under, and basically tell before Old Meg has a chance to grab him, tell him just basically call for him to run immediately before she gets a
Yep.
chance to do anything.
Please do
Would
that.
Okay.
that makes sense? Is that something I could do?
All right. You know what I will allow you to do? I have been given a GM complication. At this
Oh, no.
point, at this point, I don't think you need a complication. So, because I'm the GM and I'm allowed to do what I like, I'm going to I'll donate an extra $5, and turn it into a Saint Biren's blessing for you all.
Ooh.
And what I think that I will allow you to do, if you would like to rescue or get Tom Pawsey out of harm's way, is I will allow you to, and you are an occultist, so you have similar powers that Daisy clearly had, and similar connection. And you can still feel Daisy's spirit with you, and she does not want this creature to hurt anyone else. And I think, hand in hand with her and what last vestige of energy that she has left to be present in this world, she will aid you in using what is called trollcraft. It is a magic, and one of the trollcraft effects is to teleport. So you may teleport something or someone to a different location. If you would like to do that, I will get you to roll another magic roll, but I will give you an extra dice because Daisy is helping you. And so it will be 9 dice, but I would like you to see if you can get Tom to safety via that.
Mm-hmm. I can do that. I'll try and get Tom out of the way with Daisy's help. That's 2.
2 successes. Perfect.
Okay.
The creature's hand closes around Tom's shoulder, and for the first time on a man who seems so shrewd and so almost so unreservedly angry with the world, with a permanently sour expression affixed to his face, you see fear. You see genuine fear as he realizes that these strange and weird theories that people have been coming up with, all these things that he's found, they do mean something, and they mean something terrifying. And his eyes widen. He calls out, not anyone in particular, for help. It is the first time, you think, that he has asked for help from anybody. And at that point, her claws crouch into his shoulder, but suddenly he is missed and he is gone. Where are you sending him? Are you sending him back with you? Are you just sending him like off?
Well, yeah. What's the range? What's the range on this?
What's the
There
furthest we
is
can send him?
your
I think-
imagination.
I
You may
think
do what you like.
In the moment, the only thing that Dale thinks of is the first conversation that they had, and so in that moment teleports him to the seat he was sitting in the pub.
This
Very
was,
nice.
was all a hallucination.
So
He is still back last
congratulations.
night.
Congratulations. I think you've made a true believer of Saint Biren into this man. Like, he is going to be born again. He does not know that this was you. He thinks that a miracle has occurred.
Well, let's
so
tell him. What the fuck?
you
Let's
listed
tell
him into the
this was
pub.
us.
The various people in the pub are as shocked as he is. And that is what you have done. For the rest of you, what is it that you want to do? And I would advise some speed to be applied to this. Yes, Effie, I see you itching at the bit. I see you. I think we're about to get our running granny. Let's go for it. Go for it, Effie.
Well, Cat. Effie is done. She's putting on those knuckle dusters, consecrated recently by her friend. She would like, if possible, to look at old Meg and say, I came here to drink tea and kick some ass. And I'm all out of tea.
Yes!
And run and try and hit her with the knuckle dusters if possible.
All right. Okay. Now in combat, this wouldn't be possible in one turn, but
Sure.
heck, it's Christmas. So I would like you to roll 2 tests for me. I want you to roll agility, but the agility is helped with the
Can I-
sprinting ability. Yes,
Can
go on.
I distract old Meg to
Hmm.
give a little help action to?
Absolutely, you can do that. What would you
Amazing.
like to do to distract her?
I'm gonna pull out my gun and I'm gonna be
Yep.
like, "Hey, I'm about to shoot you. I'm about to shoot you, but I'm not gonna shoot her.
You
But I'm
go
about
ahead.
to
You
shoot
can if you want. I mean, every little helps, you know.
It's fine.
So you're pulling out your gun. That is
Hey,
going to give.
bitch! Look over here.
Addie's not messing.
Never get on the wrong side of Addie. Okay, so you pull out
Okay.
your gun, and you are going to get I'm going to give you advantage for this. I think it will add a dice to both the agility and for the close combat, an extra
Amazing.
dice for both. Because she's gonna listen to you say, and I think she lets out this screeching cackle because what she's seeing is an elderly woman who is telling her that she's about to kick her ass, and she's just like, this is the funniest thing I've seen all day. And then she gets
Wait,
distracted.
You're like way older, old Meg. You're
No,
very
yeah, but she's got some magic and stuff. Go for it, Effie.
Right,
And
I'm going for it.
I would like for the distraction, is there anything else that you want to do? Do you want to shoot her? Because if so, then I will get you to roll. Or
Yeah.
shoot somewhere else for her to be distracted. That's also a possibility.
Well, will shooting somewhere else be a better distraction than shooting her? Period.
I feel like shooting her is a pretty good distraction. Yeah.
I feel like too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sure. Yeah.
And that
Okay,
was...
so that is going to be. I'm so sorry, Megan. Just give me
No, it's
1
fine.
second.
Just imagine
That's
Effie running in slow motion during this part.
ranged.
Hey,
Ranged combat.
Effie,
Ranged
by
combat.
the way, don't forget you still have 1 die in your own.
You do.
Cool.
Thank you.
Ranged combat is the name of the skill.
Yeah.
In precision. So Scooby, if you can tell me what you roll for ranged combat,
Right.
and then I will get Effie's as well.
We still have 1 community pool, community die, and Effie has a personal die. Effie, do you want to use both, or can I use one of them?
Go for it. I've got 6 at the moment.
Oh, okay. Never fucking mind. That was just a distraction. It's all it was. No successes there.
It's all right.
No successes. Okay, cool.
But I
That's
did
fine.
distract her. A shot was fired.
Yeah, a shot was fired. Absolutely. So you aim the gun and you try to shoot her, and there's this moment of tension where you think that you've got it and you think that you're going to get her right in the heart, and this is blessed ammunition, so this should do something, right? It kind of slightly hits a tree and ricochets off into a completely new direction, and it kind of hits above her head, like the tree kind of just behind her, and she watches it go, and she begins to laugh at you, and you feel this kind of like this energy, this tension. You're kind of reminded of this time in your youth when you weren't this kind of polished, pristine person. You were an utter mess, and almost like as much as Dr. Mellors kind of took it in good humor, many people did not, and many people kind of almost mocked you for it in the kind of the foolishness that you displayed at that time, and you never wanted to be mocked like that again. And now she is mocking you. She's laughing, but she's looking straight at you. Effie, tell me, what did you roll?
I got 1 success.
You got 1 success, and that's for your agility, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So while she is laughing at Dr. Adelaide Russell, you describe it to me. Describe it to me. Describe the running to me.
With a speed that doesn't seem likely or possible, this little old lady is hauling ass
Yes.
across the snowy field, and just almost in slow motion, because everyone's just stunned, I think. You just see her pull back and go, "Get stoned!" And then knock her with the knuckle dusters.
You're gonna knock her with a knuckle duster. I need a close combat for that.
Okie dokie. Yep. Oh, I did have that training montage before, so. Oh, I got a success somehow.
You got a success? Incredible.
Yay.
Not
Yay.
that I didn't. Not that I doubted you. Where are you aiming? Out of interest.
I'm gonna go for the face.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Face. We love it.
Right.
Okay. So I feel like it's this beautiful moment, you know, Tom Pawsey, if you were watching it cinematically, Tom Pawsey is kind of swept up into this mist and snow, and the camera cuts to the Shepherd's Rest, where he just suddenly poofs into existence, and he just looks around at everyone, and everyone's looking at him, and he's like, sorry.
Saint Piran's blessings.
Saint Piran's blessing. And then it cuts back, and Dr. Adelaide Russell whips out the gun and cocks it and aims, and this bullet kind of comes flying out of it and ricochets off, and this creature begins to laugh, and you can see how much this is affecting your friend Dr. Adelaide Russell, and you can bear it no longer, Effie Turner. So you hike up that skirt, and you're running in your comfortable, practical clogs.
Definitely. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you make your way at the speed of an Olympic runner along, like, no one. I don't think Dale or Adelaide have ever seen you run this fast, and you run straight up this creature. And give me a cool line. What do you say as you clock around the jaw?
Get wrecked.
Yes! Get wrecked! And you hit her around the face. And as you do, this kind of this knuckle duster, the mark that it leaves begins to kind of crack along her face. It begins to almost like the skin beneath is just revealed to be stone, and you see it begin to like spread, and she's screeching nah! As she begins to shrivel up into this kind of like stone form, and all around the area this bright light blooms, and you hear Dale in an echo of what you heard the night before. No, Meg, Saint Biran's blessing be upon you. Back, witch, back! And this creature turns back into stone. Her staff drops to her side and sort of swirls into this thorn bush. And old Meg has been speedily defeated. I apologize, everyone, for us running over just a little. So sorry for that. We have reached the end of our adventure, and I hope that you have had some level of fun, even if we had to whiz through that last little bit with our good friend Old Meg. So this has been a charity stream. This has been a charity story. So please, there is a Tiltify link that Nightbot has been working hard to well, there you go, there it goes again. Thank you, I can see that one was prompted. We have a Tiltify link. Please consider donating. We have had some great incentives so far. I'm going to go around now. If everyone, I'm going to go backwards. So starting with you, Scooby, if you could introduce yourself, plug yourself, maybe a little bit speedier than usual, just because we're already out of time. And yeah, go for it.
Hi everybody, I have been Shaghik, my pronouns are she, her. I am a sound designer, audio, video editor, actual play performer. I do this sort of thing a lot. I am also working on an audio drama that you can follow me on Blue Sky for to eventually hear about. We don't have the account for it yet, but we will soon, and there will be a Patreon, and then more news and all that sort of stuff. It's a sort of small town mystery that's gonna be hopefully very fun. And I think that's it. Oh, sorry, my Blue Sky is just at and then my name, which is SHAGHIK.
Incredible. That was very speedy. Well done. Megan, you're up next.
It's me. I'm Megan. I am on the internet doing things. You can find me at MumbleMegs, mostly on Blue Sky these days. That's where you can find me. You can also check out my game on itch.io, which is also at MumbleMegs. Yay!
All right. Next up, last chance to enter the dice giveaway, by the way. Exclamation dice giveaway, all in one block. You've only got mere minutes. Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. You can find me at Venga Boy on Blue Sky, and that's about it, really. I mostly occasionally show up to do actual play things like this, but most of my games are done offline. I don't really have that much of an online presence because I work as a chemistry technician most of the time. So, but if you might see me around, I suppose. That's about I've got.
We would absolutely love to see you around more, so do feel free to just come in and say hi. Lots more. My turn. I am Kat, also known as you find me on Blue Sky. I'm really on Blue Sky nowadays. Law Mistress 93. I am also over on Twitch and YouTube at just the Law Mistress. Or one word. What am I doing? I am setting up a publishing company from the amazing Rich with the amazing Rich from Hatchling Games and Josh, who is Art of Arklin, and is going to be our artist. We are creating solo zines. This is a project called Gast. And we're going to be doing lots and lots of exciting things, but that's just our first kind of launch project. It's going to be not kickstarting, backer-kitting in March. We have a Discord now, and that was released literally yesterday. So please feel free to go and head over to the Discord. It is publicly available information over on Blue Sky. Cool. I think that about covers everything. So thank you so much for joining us. Join EUphoria. Check their socials down below. Join EUphoria on Thursday, I believe, will be their next stream for Heart, the finale of Heart. Hopefully, Ruben's pacing will be far better than mine. Yeah, check out the finale of Heart, and that will be on Thursday. And that is when the giveaway will be announced. So it is very important that you go there to know if you have won the dice set or not. All right. Thank you so much for joining us and vessening it up with us, and we will see you again soon. Bye!
Bye!